So it is no news that the orange clown in the White House is now considering putting boots on the ground in Nigeria in a so-called attempt to fight terrorism and defend Christians that have been killed. As a matter of fact, some of the disingenuous language that is being used for this propaganda is that Christians are being genocided in Nigeria. And I find it rather funny that there is an actual genocide going on in Gaza, and the Americans haven't classified that to be genocide, but somehow a conflict that is not a genocide is being classified as a genocide. I think it speaks to the disingenuity in the motive of why the American feels this is necessary. And unfortunately, I have noticed that there are a lot of Nigerians who actually welcome this development, sadly. And it seems to me it speaks to the ignorance of a lot of Nigerians, because if you are not ignorant of America's history of intervention, you will know that Americans don't intervene in any country and leave behind a good country that is actually livable. I mean, except your ignorance of history, for you not to understand what happened in Afghanistan after 20 years. America went there, thought they want to liberate Afghanistan. They want to spread democracy. They want to fight the Taliban. And they went there and they killed hundreds of thousands of people in Afghanistan for 10 years. Women, children, families. And after those 20 years, what happened? They left. And Afghanistan went back to what it was before they invaded. As a matter of fact, even worse than when they invaded. So Afghanistan was actually worse after the Americans intervened in their internal affairs. You look at a country like Iraq, where the American CIA and the Mossad cooked up a false intelligence that was used as a premise to evade Iraq. In that conflict, in that war, over 250,000 people was killed because of a lie which America has not even apologized for till today. They've never at any point in time apologized for killing over 250,000 people. You look at Libya. They said, oh, Gaddafi is becoming a dictator. He has been in power for too long. We need to mess up with the governance of that country. We want Gaddafi to be out. Eventually, they got Gaddafi out. And Libya is basically a failed state right now as we speak, after America intervened. So how deluded do you have to be a Nigerian to celebrate this? And you don't think you are simply going to be the next Libya, the next Iraq, and the next Afghanistan? What do you think is so special about you as a Nigerian to think this is not going to be your fate? That they will come, they will kill indiscriminately, and they will tell you, well, it is war and there's casualty when there's war. But are your own children, are your own family, are your own fellow citizens just casualties to you? Of course, they have no connection to Nigeria, so they are happy to say it is just casualty. When this army, when these boots land on Nigerian soil, they are going to be indiscriminate. They are not going to care about who they kill, because these are not their families. These are not their children. These are not their sisters. These are not their brothers. So they wouldn't care. And they know they will never be held accountable for it. The same way till today, they have not been held accountable for the thousands of lives they slaughtered in Iraq based on a lie. The world have not even gotten an apology for that. So what makes you think they will not come to Nigeria and slaughter as much people as they feel like slaughtering when they know there is no accountability? Why would they not do that? Now, the lie they are using as a justification to put boots on the ground is that, oh, we want to come and defend Christians. Well, if you do your research well enough, you will know very well there are more Muslims killed by Boko Haram than Christians. And there are good logical reasons for that. One, because Boko Haram is somewhat an Islamist terrorist organization, and we should be able to call it what it is. You can't divorce Boko Haram from its association with Islam. We should be able to say those two things at the same time, that yes, the vast majority of Muslims are not terrorists, but Muslim cannot say Boko Haram has nothing to do with their religion. That would be living in denial. And because of Boko Haram's proximity to Islam, they are more likely going to kill more Muslims than they kill Christians, because the geographical location with which Boko Haram operate is mostly dominated by Muslims. And if the geographical location is mostly dominated by Muslims, it's not unreasonable to say there are going to be more Muslims killed than Christians. So how come the United States and the orange clown in the White House do not care about all of the Muslims that have been killed? Why does it not care? Why is it that it's only the Christians that matters? And even when there are more Muslims killed than Christians, he's still only interested in defending the Christians, but not the Muslims. Are the Muslims not human beings? Don't they deserve to be protected too? Don't they? Now, I don't even blame the dude for wanting to do whatever he wants to do. My problem is for the deluded, ignorant Nigerians who celebrate this development. Because a lot of you might think it's never going to be your portion. You are never going to be part of the people that are going to be affected by the bombings and the American military operation. But the truth is, you will never know. In fact, you could be the first victim. So what is this? What is it about this development that we are celebrating? For me, I don't think this has anything to do with Nigerian Christians. And you know why I know that? Because Trump doesn't care so much about Christian. If he cared so much about Christian, he would have defended the Christian in Gaza that have repeatedly been killed, slaughtered, and murdered by Netanyahu. Oh, some of you don't know that there are Christians in Gaza too. Churches in Gaza have been burned by Trump's pimp Netanyahu with American weapons and with America funding the bombing. So he doesn't care so much about the Christians in Gaza, to the point he's happy to fund Israel to bomb churches. But you think he cares about Christians in Nigeria? Are you that deluded? This has nothing to do with Nigerian Christians. There are other motives behind this, and I have three theories. One, I think he's trying to bully the Nigerian government into doing certain things, because obviously the orange clown is a very impulsive individual. He doesn't understand anything about decorum, doesn't understand anything about policy, doesn't understand. All he knows how to do is just to bully and bully and bully and bully. And I think he's trying to bully Nigerian government to do certain things. What that is, I wouldn't know. I would not pretend that I know what that is supposed to be. My second theory is this. The Republican Party have always presented itself as this so-called party of Christians. And it's because they have a huge demography of Christians who support them. And I think the Nigerian Christians in this context are simply being used as a political pawn in the orange dude's political chess game to continue to show his Christian supporters that you see how much I'm willing to defend Christianity, to the point I'm willing to send our military to Nigeria to defend Christian there, which is purely political. My third theory, the military-industrial complex. It's possible there are a lot of people in the military-industrial complex who wants to make money. And for anybody who knows anything about the military-industrial complex, you know they make their money from conflict. When conflicts don't happen, they don't sell weapons. When they don't sell weapons, they don't make money. So my second theory is this. They want to start a conflict in Nigeria. And when they start that conflict, it will require weapons to fight those conflicts. And the more weapons they sell for the purpose of the conflict, the more money they make. None of this, in my own opinion, has anything to do with Nigerian Christians. Nigerian Christians are just allowing themselves, like I said, to be used as pawn in Donald Trump's stupid political chess game. And it is sad for me to see Nigerians who are very well going to be victims. The victims of this nonsense is not going to be Americans. It's going to be Nigerians. And it's sad for me to see Nigerians celebrate what will mean that more Nigerians, specifically innocent Nigerians, get in the crossfire on some foolish conflict that shouldn't have happened in the first place. If the Americans are so interested in helping Nigeria with fighting terrorism, why not help Nigeria with intelligence? Why not do that? Why not help Nigeria with intelligence? Why not help Nigeria with military hardware? Why putting boots on the ground? Why? And if you are putting boots on the ground, who says there won't be some misunderstanding in which the Nigerian military treats the boots on the ground as an invader who is trying to invade the country? And of course, they swore to defend their territory, the territorial integrity of this country. So what happens when what was supposed to be an attack on Boko Haram becomes Nigerian military defending somebody from foreign who is trying to invade? Because obviously the American government is not willing to take permission from the Nigerian government. So what happens when there is a misunderstanding? Now we will have a conflict in our hand that shouldn't have happened because some impulsive orange clown in the White House do not understand diplomacy. I think this is a disaster, and I hope for the few Nigerians who celebrate this, I hope they can do a rethink and understand this does not benefit Nigerians in any way, shape, or form. It will only leave a pile of body behind when this happens. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, and see you on the next one.